want to
We are live and recording.
Oh, are we now? Hello.
Oh, that's nice.
Yay!
Good day, folks. Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. This is Drexel Freethought Society. We are a fully recognized Drexel organization. We promote positive atheism and bring together people of different belief structures, providing a place for atheists to be themselves. But more than anything, we just love talking about stuff. I am David McDevitt, the president of the Drexel Freethought Society, and today's segment will be Semantics.
Ooh. Mr. President, before we begin, why do you have the headphones in?
Because it makes me look like a hipster. And people tell me hipsters are cool.
No, they're not.
People have lied to Mr. President. People have lied.
To be fair, I actually didn't realize they were in my head.
May I make a gentle and humble recommendation that you remove them from the head?
Fine.
Alright.
Top hat stage.
So,
That was over dramatic.
Semantics.
So before we go into anything, we have to do our little introduction thing. I don't know why I did this. I'm trying to swat away.
Dramatic.
I'm Dante. I am the vice president of the Drexel Freethought Society.
You can stop now.
I'll be a good
And
president.
this is Joe the Enforcer.
I will destroy you.
Nah.
Josie Wilder. What's he gonna do? Should we Josie look?
He's a very powerful man.
Ha!
Am I supposed to introduce myself now?
Yeah, who are you?
My name is Jermaine, and I am here from London, which I'm actually not. I'm lying to you this entire time. My name is Benjamin, and I am the resident voice actor, linguist, and
BBC News
asshole.
reporter.
And BBC News reporter when the situation calls for it.
And
Now the BBC.
And now to our lovely lady with the weather.
Oh. Well, it's raining.
It's hot! It's really hot!
Well, it's
It's
raining.
sideways! Can we get anything? Soup! More time! Sugar! Alright, subtle racism aside. Could you please introduce
Not so
yourself?
subtle.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm Omi, and they still haven't given me a title yet.
Do you want a title?
No, actually.
Can I call you Crazy Head?
You told that so many times.
You can be Enforcer number 2.
You could be the one who just complains
You gotta
about not having a
collaborate
title all the time. That could be your title.
You'll be the Untitled. You owe me the Untitled.
Don't worry, I don't even care.
Not pictured here.
Owe me not shoot here.
Alright,
It's a C Appendix 2.
My turn. Who's that guy?
It's Horatio's turn.
Yeah, my name is Horatio. I'm the guest turned regular turned back to guest who's on his way back to being a regular.
That's
So difficult, though.
Skits.
It must be difficult for you, man.
I know.
I can't make up my mind.
And
I
we
don't know how to
have. And what about the mysterious voice that's
Our disembodied voice number
female
1.
voice. Woo!
Say hello.
Hi.
Disembodied voice 1.
Huh?
Hi, disembodied female voice.
We have a
can't
disembodied
see her
male
leg.
voice to balance it out, but no one else felt like showing up.
Or actually,
And I'm eating Teddy Grahams, the manliest of the bear-shaped cookies.
actually, I do
I
think
have
that this
no
body
Telegram.
voice showed up, which is actually a
And why they gotta be manly? I mean, why
Wait,
can't they
now,
be,
is it a fact that it's
feminine or
manly?
something? Feminine being feminine.
What a fantastic segue!
That's just one of the words
I
we
agree.
were trying to
I'm just
we
using
were
my...
gonna attempt to find a what I mean
No,
what a lovely little list here of
This is
words
the-
that we
the
wish
holy
to
grail.
define.
Guys, let's actually start this segment.
Alright, okay, here we go.
Words that we do wish to define. I should have put hypothesis on top. Hypothesis, theory, law, fact, opinion, truth, belief, faith, science, religion, cult, spirituality, proof, and evidence.
You see, everybody, the one thing that we've definitely in this group, and me especially, I will fully admit, is that we'll argue all the time about the use of words. We'll argue about what exactly we mean by these words. We'll argue over definitions, and chances are most of the disagreement we actually have are that we don't understand what the other person is talking about. Because everyone
No, we understand. We just choose not to appreciate it.
notice she looked
You
at
really
me
don't
when
make
that
us
when
look
she said
really
that.
Because.
But I'll say yes. I don't completely understand what people are saying sometimes. So that's why before we really get into any discussion, we should a thing about semantics is we should actually talk about what we mean by each individual words, and then we can actually discuss them So we're going to go through a couple things, and some of these have nifty stars next to them, so I imagine these words are special.
I figured that we have to limit them to a certain number.
That British guy that keeps writing on my papers and stuff.
What? I'm British, I can't
Can
help
we
it.
just,
Does that to stay on?
just to point out to the people
I'll
watching, this will eventually be a call-in show,
Oh,
just in
really?
case you guys are wondering if you're just tuning in now.
True, thank you.
Call in. Oh, that.
But yeah, you can also you can email us. We're online. We're on Facebook. We have a website, DrexelFreethoughtSociety.org. Send us messages. We'll answer your questions. We'll put you on air, maybe.
If you
Probably
post during the broadcast, we probably won't see it because the laptop's all the way down there at the other end and we can't read it.
He's also on it.
Well, I'm
Oh,
on it
you are?
right now,
This
so
thing
I
won't
will read off any
reach.
comments.
Oh, never mind. Cool. Please post during our discussion and
Yes.
add to it.
I don't think it would reach.
Dante, is the chat activated?
The chat?
Yeah, check to see if the chat's activated.
Wait, try posting.
Okay,
I don't know.
Story of my life.
Everyone,
Oh, God damn it! It works just fine. All right, let's put it that way.
I typed in Narf.
you weren't supposed to post. He was.
Well,
Oh,
I need to make an account now because it won't let me post otherwise.
Well, that's silly.
Craig.
Otherwise, anyone could say anything. Oh, that's the point.
I don't know how often this Don thing's gonna keep paying off.
All right, so moving right along, Benjamin had the good idea that we're going to narrow them down to a few main things that are something we should probably talk about. The first thing we have here is a fact. Do we have differing opinion on what facts are? Like, what do you guys think a fact is?
I think that you guys don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think fact is. Well, let's have someone give a definition of fact, and someone disagrees with any bit of it. We can spark discussion from that. So, Mr. President, why don't you tell us what a fact is?
All right, well, to my understanding, fact is an observable thing. I'll just say thing is just a general.
All right.
So an observable, I guess, instance or observable thing of reality. Like a fact is a fact is a fact.
And an
It's
activity or a situation or
It's an observable phenomenon. Is probably the easiest way to say it.
That way.
So that I often talk with people and it's just like, oh, this is true to me. This is a fact to me. I don't think that's accurate.
Right.
I don't think you can have your own facts.
A fact cannot be malleable or what is it? It's not. I'm supposed to be the linguist. Not debatable, but it's not relative. It's not relative. It's fixed.
Yeah.
A fact is a fact is a fact.
Okay, chat is working.
Cool.
Huzzah!
Excellent.
All right. So fact, I believe that we have agreed on. So when we're talking about something being fact, you couldn't talk about. For those of us here of a faith, you couldn't say God is a fact because you can't. You can't prove that God exists. You can't say, oh well, look, here he is.
But it's true.
It is true. So I'm not going to deny it because that just looks like we're in self-denial. Anyway, let's
All
be
right.
relatively intelligent about this. So the next one is,
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about. Okay.
I mean, because fact, there's not much to go with fact. Just
Alright,
as everyone-
so- I would say actually the opposite of a fact is an opinion. So like, well, not really the opposite, but it's definitely.
Is it something subjective?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Is facts are objectively a thing.
an opinion, I believe, at least how I would define it, would be a conclusion that you have reached based on your own worldview and your own worldview alone. So your interpretation of facts or other phenomena, they may or may not be facts, that you have created of yourself, of your own volition, in a response to that. And an opinion does not need to be based in fact. It doesn't need to be based in anything really, as long as it's something that you have responded to. It's not the same thing as a belief, which we'll talk about later. That's all I've got for now.
Dokie dokie.
Sounds good.
Does
He's
anyone?
also our resident dictionary.
I think that's
That's pretty
pretty
good.
much as your best.
All right,
All right, that's fine then.
let's
All right,
see.
so truth.
Truth. Here's a tricky one. Here's where this discussion is going to get live.
Oh,
Now, see,
good.
this is why I like the word truth for two reasons. One of them is I don't think truth is actually so. It's kind of like I'm just going to use an analogy, so it's
Alright.
so it's easier for me to convey.
That's tricky.
You know that there is no such thing as like a square. Like there is no square.
There's no. It's
Like there is no
two-dimensional.
universal square.
Right, because something cannot exist in only two dimensions.
Yes.
Well,
Or rather, only 3 cutting up.
It could be a close representative.
1, 2, 4.
no, it's that a square is a description of something. It's not
Right.
actually a thing in the universe.
Right, because everything
The-
that we can observe and see in the universe has at least 4 dimensions. Height, breadth, width, or height, breadth, depth.
I don't think any of us here are capable of dipping too far into
Well,
physics.
4 is just the
We don't want to.
Excuse
duration.
you.
It's time.
We could dip into physics if we wanted to. Just don't want
Hey, no dipping.
Yep.
No, but it's time. You know, people ought to know that time is the whole dimension. Something has to have a period of duration for it to exist. If it has no time of duration,
Well, that's what I've heard. Is it's more its duration than actual time.
well, time
Apparently,
is
there's a difference.
time is our temporal measurement of duration.
That
Which is not. I'm sorry. Shut up. Go ahead. Continue.
So anyway, yeah,
So is
the
that the
square
truth?
does not exist.
Is that the truth?
no. The reason I bring that up is the truth. I think is the same thing. Is you can't the whole vehicle of science is that you don't actually get to a truth. If you have truth in science, science stops.
So it's an asymptote.
Yeah. No.
Well, they're-
Science is the asymptote. You never actually
yeah,
get to.
science is the asymptote
Alright.
to truth.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the undefinable,
Can you flip
unattainable
the-
truth.
Some papers.
Also, disembodied voice number 1. Can you flick the computer every time it stops doing that?
Sure.
Right. I
already
here's-
did it,
Here's
so-
where the disagreement starts. I think that truth is something universally applicable.
How
That
can you? All right.
and here's the thing, and this is where we're going to disagree on basis of worldview, because I do believe that there are certain aspects of the universe that are fixed, that are
Such as? Horatio has his quizzical face on.
I'm curious.
Well, as
Serious
in,
business. Let's go.
oh god.
Everyone stare
I
at
was
Benjamin.
hoping that you were gonna chime into something. No, it's a lot of it would be. See, I don't want to bring morality into this at all.
Do it.
Mr. President. Fantastic. Do you brush up?
Yes, I do actually.
Could be. That's fantastic.
I have very weak enamel.
Oh, that's good. You have soft.
Okay, do we
That's
Just
Is
saying.
that the truth?
Oral hygiene is important.
Is that the truth?
No, that's more like a very strong hypothesis, maybe a theory. I mean, it has had very observable results. In fact, it may even pass the scientific law. There are exceptions to it, of course. People who actually have very weak enamel have used like a Harvard's or Buster's like taking enamel
I don't have that.
Oh, no, not
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
Anyway, a truth often, I guess, I'll use something morality, but I'm not going to bring religion into it at all. But something like,
no
I'd
problem.
rather not dip. In that a universal truth would be something like murder is wrong. And I wouldn't say that stems from the fact that a lot of people believe it or think it, but that it has value in and of itself as a universal law.
But what about in cases when murder is fine? Or how do you define murder? Semantics.
Again, here we go.
Semantics.
Murder would be any sort of killing that has no reason. And not reason in general, but no.
Well, I would argue that there is no killing without a reason, ever.
Reason. Here we go. We're gonna have to start delving in deeper into morality without a good reason, or say something like,
Is killing a guy so you get $100 to feed your family a good reason?
$100 to feed your family.
That's why.
If it only takes $100 to feed your family, I would say beat him. That's less than take it out of his wallet.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to pose this because I'm
Right.
trying to say
Well,
that
if you were
it's a very relative thing.
The application, I do believe, is very relative, but the general principle, I do believe, is universal. It's like,
Can you intervene for a second? Can
Yeah,
it be something that is just proven to work?
something proven, truth being something proven to work.
Yeah. You know, people, when
No,
somebody says,
that's
this,
what a law is. That's what we talk about when we say law. It's been something that we have observed so frequently to be an actuality or a cause and effect that we can conclude that it is.
Well, a law in science is
Direct.
normally it's a colloquialism.
It's a
People don't
concept.
normally use that
Yeah,
term.
well, it isn't. But what he was talking about there is something that's proven to.
Yeah, that's how it's defined.
That would be a law.
That's why it's law of gravity.
But I think truth would be something that goes deeper. It would be sort of like gravity, but for people's actions, rather than just their physical actions, the import of actions in a societal and personal aspect. It would be almost like the laws of self, just like we have laws of nature. I believe that the laws of self would be, now granted, they play out differently, and there's different effects that come into them, but I do think there is a guiding set of laws behind it. I do think that there is a guiding set of laws behind those actions in the first place, or at least there ought to be.
Well, the only thing I would have to say to that is like, if everyone in the world changed their mind and said murder is fine now, would that make that universal truth disappear?
I don't think so, no. As far as I understand and believe truth to be, I think that even if everyone in the world said it was a good idea, that the universal law would be the same. And I think in some ways we can see that through some of the things that have been fairly consistently perceived as truths, or as moral truths particularly, in certain societies. I think that instead of those being common because they were simply popular, I think they were common because of an innate understanding of something deeper. And that the reason that so many societies have gone back to many such styles of law or styles of morality is because they're returning to something that was original.
Would you say it's a relativist thing, or is it absolutist? What can it be both?
I would go, here's what I would say. I would say the principles of truth, the baseline for it is absolute. Its application varies from person to person. So what it looks like to, let's deal with personal things. So my use of murder was a bad example. Let's say it's wrong to hate.
Isn't it?
Well, yes, I think it is. But I think that actions performed out of hate would then be wrong action. They may or may not be right considered by a objective standpoint, but something done from an attitude or a heart of hate, I think would be wrong. Or even just having that hate. Or something like jealousy.
I like it.
Hate, jealousy, selfishness, things like these that we can, I think, fairly well generally agree to be wrong, yes?
Well, this is going back into like the discussion we were having last week that you didn't show up for.
Rude.
I'm
I
sorry.
Facebooked you.
No,
I'm
but
busy.
this is like the subject of the origin of morality. Like if you say the innate things we kind of all agree on eventually, that could be explained by like evolutionary past. These things we agree on just because they help us survive.
Which I don't think all of them will help to survive, because the very idea of unselfishness, or as one of my favorite authors would call it, love. It's not romantic love, but unconditional love. The love that is the opposite of selfishness. The giving of yourself to others.
Well, if we're going to go into that, I don't think there's such a thing as unconditional love.
Oh, well, no, but in the sense of seeing someone in need, and to no benefit of yourself, give it to them.
You see, there is a benefit to
You mean
yourself.
the feeling good, the catharsis of it.
No, there's the being good to your neighbor. I think this is a Dawkins thing, sort of. It's like a misfiring of normal altruism. Let's say it's just like, say me and Dante are brothers.
Yeah. And a mother.
Anyway, so like, it makes sense genetically for me and him to help each
To
other.
get along, yeah.
So back in the day, we would only be in tribes of people you are very closely related to.
Yeah.
So it would be advantageous genetically to help everybody in your little tribe. And since we haven't significantly changed in any way, since we went from 10,000 people to, what is it now, 7 billion?
But wouldn't
So
that,
it's just a misfiring.
But wouldn't that misfiring greatly reduce someone's ability to survive? Even in today's
Make sure we don't go too far from truth.
I know. We're so bad at derailing.
Isn't too bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes into the biologically we have urges that help us what Dawkins said into it's kind of a lust to be good. It's the same kind of thing of a lust to do things that are sexy. Even though we have no, I'm saying even if we have contraception, we're technically not doing sex for the benefit of creating children, but we're still doing it. We still have that lust.
Right, there's still that genetic imperative.
Yeah, so we still have the genetic imperative to be nice to everybody you see, because normally, back in the day, everyone you're going to see has the ability to reciprocate that.
Interesting. And that does make a lot of sense. I simply happen to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Just because something makes sense doesn't mean I don't think something else makes more sense. At least from my
Doesn't mean it's
from my
right, doesn't
worldview.
mean
But yeah, so that makes a lot of sense from your standpoint, and I think that
Well, the point of this
a good
discussion.
conclusion to reach.
The point of this discussion is bringing up different ideas.
There we go.
Have these internet people learn things.
So,
Wonderful.
well spoken, sir.
Boys.
So,
All right.
so when
Anyone
somebody,
else have something to weigh in?
but real quick,
Yeah,
but when
anything
somebody,
about truth.
yeah, but when somebody says it's my truth, what do they exactly mean?
I think
This is my truth.
That's what I was in a tangent on.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you and I have talked enough.
Yeah, sorry.
Horatio, you want to
Yeah,
chime in on
absolutely.
this?
Because personal truth that's where I feel like it gets murky. When everyone can have their own definition of what their own truths are, does truth lose its definition at that point?
I don't think that's a truth. I think that's just your own opinion. Like, if you think something is true, that's your
So people are misconstruing definitions of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Semantics.
I think that postmodernism, the idea that everyone can have their own truth, is misusing the semantics, and that postmodernism isn't rather everyone can have their own truth, but there is no truth. That there is no
Universal
No absolute truth.
no absolutes.
So that's the relativist outlook.
Which is what
such a
postmodernism is just rewrapped relativism.
Yeah, because if it's more than one truth out there, there's no absolute truth. That's relative.
Right. Then all of a sudden something isn't truth, because the great definition of truth is that there's only one and it's absolute.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like the word truth. I think it mucks up what we're talking about.
But
Truth
I didn't put it on the list. I just put a little stuff.
Yeah, it's a controversial word. It's a very
It's a
controversial
very
word.
controversial word. It's worth
Yeah,
talking about.
I mean,
I'm much more interested in what people believe and why.
I even
really care what the
Max,
actual
what the hell is your problem?
I even think that
It helps me live.
even for me,
Your
this
snacks
word
aren't good
is
enough.
difficult. This
It
word is
helps
difficult for
me
me to
live.
define.
Quick attack.
I admit that. I admit that. I actually chose some of these
I
words
just
because some
been
of these
paid by a
words
drink.
are from.
I don't know how I feel about this. By the way, this is communal, so
You just
know
got great.
yourselves.
You just got great.
Hey Joe, do you have any idea about anything about truth? Like, you know what it is, maybe?
Not the healthy one.
I mean, is truth an absolute thing where there's only one truth?
Guys,
Are there
one conversation I want to.
Are there
Guys, one conversation.
are there many truths? I mean, what's your outlook on?
I mean, as far as I see it, there are many truths and fucking ads! I hate them.
That's a
Language.
Anyway, what I was going to say is that there are many truths. In fact, you can't be certain which truth is the real truth.
So you think there is a real truth somewhere, but we don't know what it is?
Exactly.
So,
Alright, so
you have like a hybrid of like absolutist that there is a single truth out there, but you also have little truths that support that
Exactly.
main truth, right? Wow. He's got a hybrid outlook on that.
it's almost like we planned
Joe
this.
has the outside.
Alright,
What was the face?
moving along. I'm gonna check the time.
It is.
Yeah, we're gonna move along.
Belief?
Belief, yeah.
He starred that. Thank him.
I'll try to get my talking fast in other ways so everyone else can talk. Belief, I would say, is somewhat like an opinion in that it's something that you hold. Well, an opinion is a response to something, and is only a response. So it's an opinion about something. A belief is actually, I think, very much
Explanation.
a belief, I think, is tied in with truth in that a belief is a truth that you hold to be a truth. That you is something that you believe to be a truth. That's what I would say belief is. A truth, or maybe even a fact. Because, I mean, I don't know if I would say, I believe this cup to have iced tea in it. I know it to have iced tea in it, in the sense that To know something would be, to prove it, to experience it.
Oh, you just said like 5 things I completely disagree with.
All right.
Have mercy.
Counterpoint, go.
Counterpoint. Knowing I think you would actually be accurate in saying I believe there's iced tea in this, but I believe this with an abhorrent amount of evidence.
All right. So you would say.
So like to actually know as a fact that there is iced tea in there, you'd have to have like an absurd omniscience of every atom that's happening right there.
Oh, I know for a fact. Well, maybe. I very strongly believe that there's more than just iced tea in there, but I'm not going to say what on camera.
Well, I guess there's just some things that
There's water in there, guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
There's some things that we do indeed take for granted. Like we know it's not just. Well, we're sure that there's not just iced tea.
I'm trying to
I stay up at night trying to figure out what's in that iced tea.
Coal tar.
No, that's a niece.
Okay, so you would say that a belief is anything that you hold to be fact. So belief. This.
No, we have to make a determination between fact and belief.
Does not necessitate.
You would. Yeah, belief. Well, as I'm trying to understand your definition of it here. So it's anything that you would hold to be a fact. So it is. I believe, like you said, I believe that there is iced tea and more than iced tea in this cup. I believe that you are currently wearing a hat on your head.
It's like, and you're wrong.
And it's subjective. And it's subjective.
Oh my god!
And it's subjective, correct? Your belief.
A belief.
It's within you.
That's
It's innate. I mean, it's
Well,
intrinsic
that's-
rather.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm
a
still not on
belief.
camera. Yep, alright.
I think a belief is anything that you hold to be fact, or I believe also truth, that affects your life.
Okay,
So
I can roll.
I wouldn't say I believe this wall to be yellow. I observe this wall to be yellow. My observation may be relative, but I would say, but the fact that the wall is yellow doesn't change.
Well, then
really change
what
my
if you were
life much at all.
colorblind?
And that
That's why I say it's a belief.
In
It's just
that
a belief
case-
with an enormous amount of evidence.
what that then does is that changes the situation for belief. If I were blind, or colorblind, then what I can observe is very limited. If I were colorblind, I couldn't observe that the wall was yellow.
Well, what if it's yellow, but it's actually...
Okay, we're not getting into the discrepancy.
You can research it.
No,
What kind of lights back off.
there's structural color and then there's pigment color.
Oh, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying like all of the observations of the world are a relative level of belief. But there's the difference between belief based on your own opinion and belief supported by evidence.
I would say belief supported by evidence would fall more along the lines of theory. At least if we're talking about a good word to use for something and the implication that goes along with the word. I think that if you're going to talk about beliefs or something supported by evidence, then you're talking about hypotheses and theory, or maybe law if you want to go that far. But when it comes to
the law, theory is the highest. You don't get higher than theory.
yeah,
Put that out there.
so I guess a law would be the
It's a constant.
Like a law is it's partially mathematical.
right.
Like
so-
technically, you can't actually prove anything except
right.
math.
It's an asymptote. So I mean, like the law is that unreachable.
Is like, in my opinion, truth
Line.
is something that's.
Oh no, you have
never
laws.
really get
It's just
touched.
You can't ever get to the point where you're there. You
You'll never
No,
touch
no,
zero.
no. Law is just a colloquialism. You don't use law in science. Not really.
Mhm.
It's kind of just like we call it the law of gravity because we've had it for so damn long
Mhm.
that we just kind of call it that.
It's a constant. It's something that has been
Okay.
consistent.
Have you eaten many of these?
You believe that you ought not to eat any more.
Yes, because I went to sleep tonight.
I see belief
I
as.
believe
I
I
should
should
get like 20 rappers
or
like
they
that.
gonna get stuck
I
in my
see.
dentures.
I see belief as, first of all, I see it as subjective, and it does not necessitate evidence. It can be supported by evidence. It doesn't necessarily have to be. It's something that is inside. I believe, like, what I believe, it may run parallel with somebody else's beliefs, but it is
Yes.
something that I myself have conjured up.
Yeah, that you have chosen.
Yes. That's the way I see belief as.
That makes a lot of sense, and I would agree with that. In that, a belief is something that you've made a part of your life, I mean, and I would say that the implication to the word belief is that it changes, maybe not necessarily who you are, but how you interact with the world. Say, you know, if someone believes that, you know, being a vegetarian is better, they won't eat meat. If somebody believes that exercising every day is the key to a healthy life, you know, it will have an impact on their actions.
Then what would you say about a lack of belief in something?
A lack of a belief in something is, I think, the reciprocal belief. Or rather, a belief that it doesn't matter.
Well, no, because like, if I just name a random thing, you would probably have a lack of belief in it, because you didn't know that it existed.
Well, what is it? Well, name it.
A Gnarkathuf.
A Gnarkathuf?
Like,
well, it's something I don't know. It's something I haven't had.
No, but I'm
anything
saying,
with
how
in
can
my
you
life.
have an active belief that something doesn't matter if you have no idea it existed?
Then there isn't a belief one way or the other about it.
You're
You
not-
don't-
That's what I'm trying
You
to
don't
say.
have to have a belief about anything. Now, if you have if there's no knowledge, then there can be no belief about it, I think. If there has to be something there to interact with to have a belief about.
No, but the reason I bring this up is just like atheism. Atheism is the lack of a belief in a God.
Or
Like,
rather, isn't it the belief that there is no God?
not necessarily. Technically, it's just without belief.
So,
That's what the
well,
word is.
atheism is without God. Because theo is.
Yeah, it's just without God.
It's just God.
So it's just
There is no
atheist,
belief in one.
What's that? Well, like the
Atheists don't believe in a God.
well, no,
Yeah.
the original definition of the word atheist was no God.
Like there
It's
is
like that-
no
that's
God.
where the
There's
Latin
no
word
such
comes.
thing as God, higher
So,
being.
Atheism
Alright,
That's what
so now,
atheism used
Here,
to be.
here's semantics.
So wait,
Semantics.
are we? Is it not just direct Latin translation? Because that's what we need to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Generally, the safest thing to do is say, "Oh, you're an atheist. What you mean?"
Oh yeah.
The
Well,
same way you can,
I-
the same way it's not a good idea to assume what someone says if they're a Christian.
Right.
Well,
Which I will also admit I do that with.
Because monotheists are technically atheists. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Actually, the
How's
thing is, when you go look at it, there, of course, you know, everybody has a different meaning for everything. But there are general meanings or accepted meanings for most things. When you say atheist, that means that you do not believe in a God or a higher power. Agnostic means that you do believe that there is something, but you do not know what it is
Or
That's
what
not
it
what that
could
word
be.
is.
Just because
No,
it's
no.
accepted doesn't mean it's
Agnostic
right.
means it doesn't fucking matter.
But no,
No,
wait,
no,
no, wait,
no.
no. Well, let me get to him real
Assumptions
quick.
when you say
Let me-
something.
let me-
And I'll totally cover the agnostic atheist thing.
he asked me, Horatio asked me, well, how can a monotheist be atheistic? I was like saying, well, if you're a monotheist and the only God you believe in is God, or the only God you believe in is the Fugla, you are atheistic towards the other gods.
All the other gods. All the other
All
gods
the
that
other
have ever
gods.
existed.
It's
Well, then,
Okay.
no,
everyone
atheist-
who believes in religion is
atheist-
atheist or whatever.
Atheist is
Exactly.
atheist is
It's just
fine.
atheists just believe in one God.
Well, it's the original implication of it was just that there is this concept of God, not a single individual God, but concept of God.
It's just
So if you have a
that-
concept of a God, then you wouldn't be an atheist. At least not by
Yeah.
that definition of it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's not a specific God that's referring to. It's concept of God. So if you are a monotheist, you have a concept of God, which means you're not atheist. So it's
Of
not
God,
Like,
but not.
think of
Well, what
any-
about the other gods? Because I have a concept of Smurf.
Of any
well,
God.
but it's concept of any deity.
Wait, but I have concept of hundreds of gods. What does that mean?
Well, no, like if
I don't
you
believe-
if
I
you
don't-
if you
You're not
believe that to
atheist.
be for someone to be
What does it mean to have a concept of a god? I don't
well
get it.
to believe that there is a
Well,
God.
this goes into epistemology now, actually. You know, because
Alright, before we do that,
No, we need to do this.
I need to make a
It was to
distinction
address
between
the
agnostic
atheist
and
and
atheist.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
go ahead.
All right.
Atheist real quick.
Still, generally, it's safer just to just ask the person what they mean by atheist.
Very
Also,
much,
the screen did.
Anyways.
Just
Oh,
Oh my god,
No,
he's
he's
magic.
Magic.
I love you're just like I have powers. No, but generally nowadays, atheist kind of just means a lacking a belief in a god. Then you kind of go into a weak atheist and a strong atheist. Strong atheist actually thinks there is no god. Weak would be like, I just lack one. It's kind of like saying, do you not believe in Bigfoot? Or it's like, no, I don't have a belief one.
Well, Bigfoot
I
is
lack a
real.
belief.
That would be apatheist.
Bigfoot isn't real.
Anyway.
Sasquatch is. Just
We're not getting into this right now.
We'll do cryptozoology later.
Yeah, he
Okay,
delivers all
and yes,
the
he will.
all the good along.
agnostic is actually claiming, like Gnosticism and agnosticism is claiming to actually, or not claiming to, have knowledge of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm an agnostic atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I lack a belief in a God. There could be one.
Mm-hmm.
There's just,
You don't know.
Yeah, it's like the agnosticism is kind of making the absolute statement. Like people, if you're a Gnostic, like theist, a lot of theists are, they'll just go like, there's definitely a God, I know for a fact there's a God.
Yeah.
Then that's actually saying I have knowledge
Well,
that
the
something
way-
actually exists.
The way that
Like one is a belief and one is having knowledge.
actually the way that the agnosticism has been,
Or one concerns belief. One
just the
is
way
knowledge. Sorry.
atheism has different connotations nowadays. I think to a degree so does agnosticism, or Gnosticism. In that what I've encountered it is that it's not a deal of knowledge of like, oh, there could be a God, though that's part of it, but it's also, it doesn't matter if there's a God or not, which is often tagged on with people claiming to be agnostic, or people
True.
being labeled as
There's
agnostic.
a whole thing about like, it's the middle ground.
Yeah, it's a lot like that, yeah.
It's more like if you have any belief that there is a God of any kind, you're a theist of some kind.
Yes.
Anything else, you're an atheist.
Yeah, pretty much. Though I would
So,
say
like-
that when it comes to belief, you have. I don't want to say the phrase "you have to believe something" because that just sounds so concrete.
Yeah.
But I do think that you either believe something is, or you believe it isn't. I don't know. I'd have to do a lot more thinking about if there's a total. If you have knowledge of something, can there be a lack of belief? If you have a knowledge of any concept, whether you believe it to be true or not, can there be total lack of belief as regards it? You are aware of the concept of a God that some people hold. Yes.
No,
I would
like
Would you say?
no. Like, I can explain why I make the
Okay.
distinction.
All right.
Because saying I do not believe in a God is making a positive statement. And the whole point of atheism is that it is the negative statement. It's the default.
But
Like
can you make a
Oh, I can actually give you an example.
if
Babies,
yes, what about them?
they're atheists. Like you can't have a
You
belief.
can't win that. You can't prove it. So.
Actually, well, you
No,
can't.
you can't
You
actually.
can't prove it. You can't prove or disprove that because they may or may not. We can't test
We'll
that.
never know.
That's untested.
Well,
Can I
maybe not
disagree
never.
with the statement that you said
test to
that
see
is-
if
You can test a baby's
Christian
belief.
baby.
But
Woman's trying to talk. Everybody shut up.
Somebody voice.
See, it doesn't work.
You said that atheism is the default. I disagree with that because
how do you believe in something if you don't have any idea that it ever happened?
no, that's what I'm
Or
saying.
you never learned
You
anything
can't
about
have
it?
You never
atheism
religion
without
is.
having theism. Like if
That's what I mean. Is atheism is the lack of the beliefs of theism.
Yeah.
If they're not
You say
there,
it's
then
the
you're an
default.
atheist. Yeah, yes, that is what the default is.
There's an interesting observation in that almost every child is the same religion as their parents. Notice I said almost every child is the same religion as their parents.
That's actually
Now,
in
why is
America. That's a bit different now.
In most countries.
It's
Depends on what you're exposed to as well.
a lot of it.
How
does
can you
depend
know
on what
Buddha
you're
exists if you
exposed
don't
to.
read about it?
But when it comes to actual belief, as opposed to simply habit and lifestyle, the parent to children carry through is a lot lower than most people might think. Because their kids might
Where are you getting this information from?
extensive personal knowledge and a bit of research. I'd have to go back and work a lot with it. But even looking at, maybe 5 or 6 churches that I'm familiar with, the way the kids accept the parents' teaching as to what is real and what is not doesn't really sink in. They may go through with it for a while because, that's what their parents did. Almost every kid does that.
Branch out
That's the
one
ones
own
that rebel. But eventually they will go and make their own decisions. They'll say, well, you know what, that's just what my parents did. And in fact, in many ways, they're far more likely to reject the church almost entirely. Or,
Wait, so you
in
said-
effect, or at least practicality, and in effect, than someone who is outside the church to begin with.
When you're saying then like indoctrination doesn't happen?
Sometimes, but the funny thing, especially in this world that we live in, is indoctrination. Like, very, very, very few people stay in a church, especially in this day and age, because of indoctrination. Because of the internet, because of freedom of information, indoctrination only works if people are kept somewhat in a box. You cannot keep someone in a box in America unless you live in the Deep South, which is why the Southern Baptists are still around.
Hey!
But then why?
Word.
Wait, but then why is I forget the number? It's like 72%.
I like shouting in church.
The people that call themselves Christians and the people that actually live by the belief system, there's a huge disparity in those two numbers. There's a lot of people out there who will say, "Yeah, I'm Christian," and they haven't been to church since they were 6 years old. They're declaring it as a political association.
No, but then like when there's polls like, do you believe evolution actually happens? Do you think like the Earth was created 6,000 years ago? That's
I
like
do wanna point
it's
out
like
one
40% of the country.
That everybody always says,
Yeah, but 40% of the country actually
bringing
answered that
polls and
poll.
everything like that. I never voted in a poll. How many of you actually voted in all these stupid polls?
And who were actually asking?
I have.
Well, no,
They're Gallup.
So now we know that they're all.
here's
No,
a more,
Lord, because he voted.
here's a more trying question.
You're gonna come in, you're gonna stand out there, what's up?
Those are gone.
Where's that?
It's James.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So here's a more trying question. So for those who don't think that babies are agnostic or atheists at birth, if you was to take, are you saying that a baby can be born a Christian? The baby is born knowing that God exists, has a concept of the Bible and the Ten Commandments.
I
All
want to
this.
stop you early
Yeah, go ahead.
because there's no way to prove this one way or the other with what we know.
And I mean, honestly,
Wise.
I don't
So,
think that they're born with that
this
knowledge.
is kind of,
Well-
this is kind of
It's not
irrelevant
really
to
pointless
discuss.
because there's evidence that may support either side.
I don't think that there's any evidence that could really give you much one way or the other.
Maybe not 100%,
Christianity.
but if I
What
was
about
to
babies
take a
born
baby
before
born from a
Christianity?
Christian
But if
family
you take the
and put him in
Christian
a Hindu
eternal
family,
truth,
what do you think that
there
people
could be
most
there could be
likely
an innate knowledge of eternal truth.
What about like the spread of Christianity? It spread where the missionaries went,
Well, no,
and not the in that.
But
It didn't just kind of pop up
What
randomly around the world.
Christianity,
That's
what
the
Christianity was.
No, I mean think about that.
Dude,
Like,
think
about what
why
the
didn't
Christians
Christianity
say.
just pop up randomly in different places in the world?
Because.
Yeah, now I'm
I'm
not
gonna have
voting,
to
I'm
phrase
shut up.
this. I have to phrase this the right way. Give me a second.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Take your time.
Can I be an asshole and answer that question?
Sure, right.
Well,
Yeah, so I'm
depends.
not gonna listen to you, so I can gather my.
Depends on what you're being an asshole about. You're not allowed to insult people here.
Okay, let me give it a go first, and then you can ask what you want.
Yeah.
Everything is better with accents.
It is, isn't it? Anyway, because I think that
So can
the
you tell me that my brother was killed in a train wreck?
my friend, your brother, was killed in a train wreck.
You're just adorable.
Anyway, I think that,
Heterosexuality.
I think that with Christianity.
I think you convince an argument.
What? I think that this Christianity as a religion, yes, was spread through the missionaries, but some of the innate truths, I think, are
You're born with it.
what the truths are.
The truth.
This is
You
part.
can't handle the truth!
Only just wanted to say that.
I've already told you what my definition of truth is, so
Yeah.
as I use it, this is how I define
That's
it.
fine.
Yeah, no
So I
problem.
do think.
That's what defining things
Right,
is
there we go.
useful.
So when I
Can you let him define it?
So I do think that there are certain innate truths that people can be born with. Do I know that for a fact? I have no idea. I can't talk to the babies. If I could,
We don't have a baby translator,
I don't know.
so
Yeah, we don't really have a baby translator.
Baby translator? Is that what you're saying?
bullshit!
I call bullshit too.
I'd like to see evidence.
I can, you know what? I know when it's hungry because it cries, and because it's awake, and they're always hungry. But
Babies are not always hungry, actually.
when they're no longer hungry when they stop eating. This is how I know that. If it's awake, I'll try to feed it. But if it doesn't want to eat food, then it's obviously
Then it
not
wants to
hungry.
shit, and if it wants to shit,
Then you change it. Yeah.
Okay, the God baby.
I have 4 younger siblings. Yes, I don't think it's testable. I don't think it's provable. So the point is rather than moot. But I do think that as people in general, there is an innate, at least awareness of truth that can be present. I couldn't tell you if it always is, but I think that it can be.
But the
Wait, but so why would that make? So you're saying that is the Christian truths that are
There-
born within children?
Oh my gosh.
I don't like
No,
that.
that's why I'm-
I don't like the idea of there being of everything being called the Christian truth. Honestly, yeah.
No, I'm arguing whether like how like a baby could be born a certain kind of religion. So I'm
No,
using
no,
Christianity
no,
as
the
the
baby-
example.
Here's the thing. That's what. In fact, I'm actually going to stop using the word Christianity to refer to my faith.
Okay.
Because when you guys use the word Christianity, you're talking about a religion. I'm not talking about a religion when I talk
Which is
about
one of the words I'm using.
I'm talking about something that, and let me just real quick define religion for you. When I see religion is the structure that surrounds our beliefs. We have a religion, yes, but that's not the driving force. Religion is a societal thing. It's a social thing. It's about the people as a group. The faith that we hold is not a religion, it's a belief. It's something that we hold to be true, to be fact, if you want to call it that affects our lives.
Okay.
And so the baby isn't born with a religion. No, that would be ridiculous because a religion is a structure. The baby has no structure. But I do think the baby can be born with an awareness of truth. And that is making the assumption that I've already done, that there is a fixed and unchanging truth.
Wait, so do
Now,
all people have the fixed unchanging truth in your definition of this?
I honestly don't know.
Because I would say I'm an atheist. So does that mean that these truths just elude me?
Perhaps, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not really. If there is something that to be said about that, I haven't given it much thought yet, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
Fair enough.
Do we have time for...
Oh, we have plenty of time.
Oh shit, I need to go.
Oh.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
This is Mr. Benjamin.
Signing out.
Does anyone want cups? Does anyone want cups? You guys can have cups. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, sir.
Ollie?
Oh, no, nobody. Yeah.
You get a hug.
I didn't get a hug.
No, you didn't. That's because you called me adorable.
Wow. I think we kind of beat.
You made a rude gesture as I was leaving.
We gotta beat belief to the ground, right? I mean, Joe, disembodied voice.
I got
Okay.
Well, there was something I wanted to say about the facts and opinions, which I feel neglected that we skipped over that of me getting a chance to do that.
Go ahead.
What I consider to be a fact is something that you know to be true and that you can prove to be true. Well, anyway, that's dictionary definition. But there are certain facts that can't necessarily be proven, but there's no way to disprove it either because some people weren't there when the fact happened.
So not being able to disprove something is a strong argument?
Well, it depends on what it is, because here's a fact about myself, is that there was one time at a family reunion I actually ran across water.
I remember the story.
A brief moment, yes. For those who've listened.
No, see, but that's not necessarily a fact.
Well,
You don't know exactly what happened.
I don't know what happened, but it happened, so therefore it's a fact to me. Of the fact that it happened.
So the theory of how it. So it's the theory of
It's the
how
theory
it
of-
happened.
It's the theory of how this happened that's not fact. It's the fact that it happened.
I ran
is a
across
fact.
water too. Like, I mean, you stand on a boat and you just run across, but still. Like,
No, this was like no wires, none of that shit.
I said stand on a boat and run across. I was being super.
Oh.
Anyway, but for all we know, like you could tell us like you're the president of some company or something like that.
It's like we made super water and filled your pool with it.
Yes.
Narc.
Yeah, we won't know whether or not that's actually true, but you know as a fact that it is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So
Okay.
Now for opinions, obviously, it's more or less to like what you personally and going into the belief system, like what you believe is to be true to you. However, it may not be true to others. Like I could say right now, as my personal opinion, that this chair is comfortable. I think it's one of the most comfiest chairs I've ever sat in.
I'm so sorry.
But okay, I'm exaggerating that a little bit, just as an example. But for David, he might think that this chair is awful, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I cry myself to sleep. It's true.
Yes. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about facts and opinions.
That's cool.
As far as truths, I'm not sure if people were listening in on this earlier when I said that there are many different types of truths.
You're listening.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want to get into like?
And beliefs, beliefs is the only one I haven't touched on. What I think a belief is I think it's for some it ties into religion, but some others may not. Like I believe that Dante is a great friend. That's my personal belief. It doesn't have any religious influence. No, it doesn't. It's just
like mine does.
And the show has reached a new level.
Children, stay on topic.
Why are you trying to quell her love?
Narf.
I can't say anything to straight face anymore.
Oh god.
So the
Would you like me to pass you something?
the supposed opposite of belief.
No, I got it.
So
you say that as you knock over the cup.
Here's a word that a lot of people. Here's a word that a lot of people tend to make synonymous with belief, and that's knowledge. Now, what in the flying thing is knowledge?
But how do you associate belief and knowledge when belief is something that's like can't be proven?
Some people do.
But knowledge is
I know.
something that you acquire. Like
That's why we're discussing.
Exactly.
That's exactly why
I
we're
have the
discussing.
same problem.
Some people say I believe in Defugla, and I know for a fact he's there.
Okay, then I ever heard of
And
And it's like, huh?
I'll believe
Picture
that you
didn't
know
happen.
for a fact that he's there, but I won't believe that. If you want me to believe it, like if you wanted to prove that it's knowledge, like it actually exists, you have to make sure that everyone else can also see that truth.
I can prove that Defugla exists, though.
So you're saying that a belief can become knowledge if
Yes.
you provide enough evidence?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Interesting.
Never mind.
Okay.
And I was gonna say kind of the flip of that too.
Can knowledge become belief?
In a certain way, I was gonna say like the whole
Well-
idea of like a hypothesis, which is it's an educated guess. Like if I
Hypothesis is next.
okay,
Oh, John.
sorry, a hypothesis is an educated guess, or at least that's what we're told in science class. And I mean, I wasn't gonna go into actually what a hypothesis is.
I know.
Dictionary.com says.
But I mean, that's what it is. So like, there are some things like certain religions seem to be more believable than the others, simply because like more people lean towards the Abrahamic faith because they seem slightly more believable than the other ones as far as stuff.
Why do they seem more believable?
I'm quelling so much laughter, it's unbelievable.
I'm saying generally. I'm not saying my personal thing right now. I'm just saying the idea is if something makes sense, and if this, and this makes sense, and has been proven, and like you learned this and you know this.
How's it
Then
been
you
proven?
can-
Like if it's a belief.
No, say knowledge and then belief. Like you believe based off of the knowledge that you do have. It's like I know this, but I don't know this, but because I know this, I'm going to believe that.
I could. Do you want?
Because no, it's just
You can keep going. Go for it.
Done. You mean like an example?
Yeah, like
I mean like
from going from knowledge to belief. Like, because in religion, I don't think there's knowledge in religion. Like, I think that's a belief, like just a belief, because it's your opinion.
My thing is this: historically speaking, almost, well, not even almost, unless every single history book and all this other crap has been forged, which is a
Well,
possibility.
it's a bias. It's someone's bias that they wrote. You're like, okay, this is what I think. This is my take on what happened, because it's everyone's bias. Whoever wrote that book is biased towards what they believe.
True.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is there's historical evidence that Jesus existed.
Yeah,
Unless you
whatever-
absolutely refuse to believe that, then you
No,
will be
I will say that he did exist, but whatever is said about him is
Yeah.
someone's bias, someone's opinion.
Okay, but that's kind of where I was going with that. Like, you can't. The only reason why I feel like Christianity might be slightly credible, like that worded it really wrong. But anyway,
Well, I mean, like we have just as much evidence that Muhammad existed.
I was getting there too.
Yeah,
You're
they
the-
can
you're
have
the
a
real-
letter.
It's probably Muhammad to you, sir.
You're derailing
No, it's
yourself.
not.
I mean, you can't-
Try to get back on your train of thought.
there is proof that he existed, like the Prophet Muhammad. Like, there's been letters that have been signed by him. There's been like other stuff. That
Well, it's like
prove
I
that
could
he
I could
existed.
sign letters with some guy's name.
No, but like, okay, fine.
Then
No,
no,
I am Lord Krishna.
But that would not be forgery, and you go to jail.
I think I can go to jail for that.
Yeah, you can actually.
Let her continue, guys. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that like certain things are more believable, and some people base their belief off of a tiny bit of knowledge. People gain knowledge about that belief.
Maybe logic.
That plays a part, a huge part. But yeah, I was just saying that like belief can come from knowledge, and knowledge can come from belief as well. It can go both ways. So I was trying to say that you guys. I'm just playing you guys. And my accomplices.
Someday we totally have to do like historicity of Jesus. Is it there's?
Here we go. This will be an interesting one.
Oh, it's because I honestly have no idea where you're getting this information from.
What, that Jesus existed?
Yeah.
There was a man named Jesus.
There was.
Yeah, it's like it's like I know of a whole bunch of people named Jesus.
Like
The original
they have discovered a tomb in recent years
I'd rather think
that
it was
supposedly
Jesus.
contained a man named Jesus.
It's like I also know of a restaurant in the same area that apparently was where the Virgin Mary was born. Like just because people say it doesn't mean anything.
Well, apparently it was discovered as this was actually on broadcast news.
Okay, being on broadcasted news doesn't mean that it's true.
So anybody
In
else?
Fox News, I will see your argument.
Yeah.
Anyone else know what knowledge is exactly?
Okay, can I finish the damn story, please?
No.
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure, like,
The tomb was found, and it was proven. It was proven that there was a man named Jesus Christ way back then, when the.
It's like I wouldn't doubt that there could like a physical person named Jesus. But that doesn't mean it's the Jesus of the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we don't know if it is the Jesus Christ. But there was a man named Jesus Christ who was married to a Mary Magdalene and had 2 kids.
Yep.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Let's not go there. Y'all
I
gonna
don't
get me
know the
started.
Bible, so
I think we should go back on knowledge.
Well, the thing is, I'm one of those people that actually.
We're going down.
All right, okay. Omi has a comment, and you have a comment.
Trail.
Don't even get started on that
Guys.
shit!
Omi first, then disembodied voice number 1.
There's a number 2.
No, you're number 1. We don't have another one.
Then just disembodied voice. You can
No, you just have to
there's
be
another one.
No, but another one shows up. And
Then
Go
Or
with
else
their
you can
logic.
focus.
Just go with their logic.
Okay, go ahead.
That was Harlan Metropolis. You should be ashamed.
Alright.
Right. Go ahead, ladies.
See what I'm saying? No, I was just gonna say, don't get me started on the whole Mary Magdalene thing because the Bible was sexist. I'm sorry, the men that wrote the Bible were sexist.
Okay, that's a better picture.
What? The Bible was sexist as a book. I'm just saying, it was.
everyone in that time period is
It's not
sexist.
like who wrote it, it's not who. Yeah, it's the people who edited it. Because, like, it's been.
The people that wrote it too.
Yeah, the people that wrote it as well, but not as much. I feel like they would have included some of the stuff, but, like, people who did the editing later on, like the King James Bible or the whatever type of Bible it is, there's been editing done on it. There has been stuff taken out.
But the thing is, they were sexist at that time. And
most
the guys,
some
like,
people are
for
still sexist.
and when
It's
they put the book
2012.
together, you know, it's a collection of books.
Yeah.
When they put that together, they
I forget that.
left out.
Yeah, what was that called? It was a very specific meeting.
Say no, I'm joking. Well, I don't know.
It depends on
Yeah,
the
there's
version
a-
of the Bible. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, a bunch of people got together and just like, all right, not this book, not that one, like these two.
Well, if you really think about it, a lot of the stories in the
I
Bible
feel like
are
Mary
pretty
Magdalene
messed
had
up.
her book and they got this started, but I have no proof of that. That's my belief. I'm sorry.
Knowledge.
there's lines.
Anybody else have anything on knowledge?
Yeah, they are.
Not really.
Shit.
Alright, you want to get into like the scientific process? Does that matter?
Sure, we can do that because they'll throw logic and hypothesis and theory and law on there. Even evidence.
By the way, we are getting close to time.
Let's go.
How close are we?
Like minute and a half close.
What?
Closing remarks.
Ooh.
Wait, the hell? Last time I looked at my watch, we had 20 minutes.
That's what happens when you don't look at your watch for 20 minutes.
I've been keeping a track of the time for the past like 10 minutes.
Alright, so, that's
Closing
the Drexel
remarks.
Freethought Society.
More words later.
It's like,
Mary
yeah,
Magdalene
actually,
was Jesus' wife.
I don't know.
Where's the heretic?
You like to
And I know that
the history
I had
of Jesus is extremely
Yeah, why
contested
do you
and
do
should be
that?
trusted.
of the
If
fuggler.
you've
I
read
had
the
proof of the
stories, she's a
fuggler.
whore.
She is not a whore. That is two separate books.
Of Close it.
All right, this is the Drexel Freethought.
Totally separate.
Only
John.
afterwards.
We are.
All right, this is the Drexel Freethought Society. We are we're Drexel organization. Semantics. Make sure you all discuss the kind of things you're talking about and decide the definitions of words before you start talking. Makes it slightly more easy. Have a nice day, everybody.
And we are done.
Adios.
Bye.
Narf.
Toodles. Gotta
Biscuit.
find my Bible for you.
Bibble.
My Bible.
Bibble.
Still going, still
It's in the
going.
Quran. They put
Good job to somebody, boys. I mean,
I'm just saying.
you're oxen now, not to somebody.